dead.
He's dead.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh boy, oh boy.
You don't feel bad about it?
No.
Would you do it again?
Whenever you
Yeah.
pray to, you make sure
I
that
don't pray to anybody.
Call on a higher power.
I prayed today.
Okay.
First time ever prayed.
What'd you pray for?
Hope she died. I wanted to. Birthday. 13 years. I want to go get him.
Imagine a grandma who was renowned for kindness suddenly killing someone brutally. Why did the supposedly kind-hearted Cynthia cdebaca decide to plot and carry out such a horrific crime? Discover the terrible tale of how she changed from a devoted family member to a heartless murderer. Cynthia cdebaca, a 63-year-old grandma, killed someone shockingly in a little Californian hamlet. Behind her kind appearance was a terrifying scheme that transformed her from a cherished family member into a heartless murderer. What made her act with such violence? Find out the disturbing reality that led to this startling change. From the outside, Cynthia cdebaca appeared to be a picture of home bliss, a grandma recovering in the lovely guest house of her daughter Laura after a head injury. However, the reality was far darker when doors were closed. The reputation of Laura's husband, Jawad Eustachio, for his severe and violent actions damaged family ties and fostered a tense and fearful environment. A violent disagreement between Cynthia and Jawad set off a fatal spark one fateful day. Cynthia, who had just purchased a revolver and been practicing, shot Jawad with a deadly volley of shots in a horrifying act of premeditation. Filled with wrath and cold-blooded determination, she shot several times, reloaded and kept attacking until Jawad was flat on the kitchen floor. An aggressive argument with her son-in-law, Jawad Eustachio, on Cynthia cdebaca's 62nd birthday, ended in death. Cynthia's growing irritation and anger forced her to take extreme measures. After taking shooting classes to guarantee her aim was accurate, she produced a revolver she had recently bought. Cynthia shot Jawad 5 times in a cold, deliberate strike. She reloaded her pistol as soon as he dropped, firing 5 more shots before doing it once more. Her intention behind every shot was to kill her victim. Cynthia fired one last round of 15 rounds at Jawad, who was critically injured and trying to escape. Cynthia pushed Jawad furiously. Cynthia's attitude after the murder was frighteningly carefree. As if nothing had happened, she went out to breakfast and then celebrated her birthday at a casino. The brutality of the crime and her calm, unaffected attitude would eventually bring her to the notice of law police and expose the shocking reality of what she had done. Later on, witnesses to the horrific scene realized that Jawad's body was lying spread out on the kitchen floor, laced with 12 bullet wounds. Undaunted by the act of violence she had just perpetrated, Cynthia continued her day, stopping first for breakfast before going to a casino to celebrate her birthday. Her cool attitude after the murder helped increase the horror and complexity of the investigation. Cynthia cdebaca appeared almost unbothered by the murder. She originally attempted to maintain an appearance of innocence, acting as though she was shocked and confused when the police arrived and began questioning her. But her distressed appearance soon came off as the questioning went on. It was under the heated interrogation that Cynthia revealed her true self. She admitted to having planned the murder ahead of time and described the painstaking measures she had taken to guarantee its execution. Cynthia recounted how she had shot Jawad while he was lying wounded and attempting to escape, cautiously reloading her handgun multiple times. Her account of what happened was incredibly accurate and showed no signs of regret. Detectives were able to see Cynthia's lack of interest when they investigated deeper. Her heartless characterization of the violent domestic violence, coupled with her lack of compassion, presented a striking image of a lady oblivious to the consequences of her actions. Investigators were startled and uneasy by the sharp contrast between her serene attitude and the violent nature of the crime she had committed. During her arrest, Cynthia cdebaca's case moved quickly through the legal system due to her unsettling confession and lack of regret. After making a confession after questioning, Cynthia cdebaca was placed under formal arrest. Investigations were conducted into every aspect of the crime, including how brutally the murder was carried out and how planned it was. Her thorough confession was supported by evidence recovered from the crime site, which included the revolver used and many bullet shells. Cynthia was arrested, and her trial started a few months later. The prosecution's graphic evidence of Cynthia's intentional killing of her son-in-law, Jawad Eustachio, created a tense atmosphere in the courtroom. The prosecution highlighted how intentional the crime was, using Cynthia's buying of the revolver and her shooting range practice as examples. Cynthia's defense team confessed to the crime during the trial, but they maintained that it was the result of past abuse and disagreements in the family. They made an effort to paint the murder as a passionate or self-defense killing, saying that Cynthia's actions were a response to Jawad's continued abuse. The prosecution, however, refuted this story by emphasizing Cynthia's careful preparation and emotional distance, implying that the murder was neither a justified defense nor an act of wrath. The arguments and the evidence were considered by the jury. The conviction resulted from the preponderant evidence of intention and Cynthia's cold statement of the crime, despite the defense's accusations of abuse and crisis. The conviction of Cynthia cdebaca for first-degree murder was confirmed. The court considered the intentional nature of the crime, Cynthia's lack of regret, and the significant effect on her family when determining the appropriate sentence. Cynthia was given a 50-year prison term without the chance of release by the judge. Cynthia, who was 65 years old at the time, would be imprisoned for the remainder of her life in order to atone for her misdeeds and the harm she had caused to her family. After Cynthia cdebaca's horrific crime, the community had a protracted and challenging time coming to terms with the loss. A period of deep mourning and reflection after the initial shock and disbelief that covered the area. People's memories of Cynthia were permanently changed as her once familiar look became a symbol of violence and betrayal. The shards of their broken life were left for her daughter Laura and other family members to pick up. In particular, Laura had to deal with the pain of losing her spouse, as well as accepting the truth about her mother's behavior. The family felt deeply betrayed and grieved, and the experience left them with significant emotional wounds. The case also affected the community's general sense of confidence and safety. Friends and neighbors who had previously felt safe were forced to face the terrifying possibility that such brutality may happen among them. The crime sparked a heated debate among the locals, who were left wondering about the nature of unseen marital conflict and how well they actually knew the people in their community. Cynthia cdebaca's story serves as a sobering reminder of the terrible results of planned violence. Her family was devastated, and her neighborhood was shocked by the planned murder of her son-in-law, Jawad Eustachio. The fallout exposed severe emotional wounds and a strong sense of betrayal. Justice was served by Cynthia's conviction and sentencing, but the tragedy made clear how vital it is to address mental health and domestic violence. This case is a sobering reminder of how unseen conflict can have unthinkable results. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to see more stories like this one and to be updated about our newest releases. Your support enables us to keep providing you with interesting information. Join us on this trip by clicking the subscribe button right now